The other day, we had a wonderful chapel talk given by Ryan Kyle, class of 21. However, due to a technical glitch, we were not able to record it or to broadcast it on YouTube. So now, without further ado, a re-recording of Ryan Kyle's chapel talk.
The date was July 6, 2019. I was in the John Wayne Airport in Irvine, California, heading back from a week-long summer camp at the University at California at Irvine. And I was eager to get back home so that I could see all of my friends and tell them about my adventures at camp. This day seemed like a normal day where I was simply going to get on a plane with nothing special happening. My dad, who was my traveling companion for this trip, suggested that we go to eat before we boarded the plane, to which I agreed. We sat down in an Italian restaurant, ate a slice of mediocre airport cheese pizza, and spent about an hour or so eating before we left the restaurant and started heading towards the gate where we would board the plane. We got in line to board, and I decided to pull out my phone to check what was happening on social media one last time before I had to switch to airplane mode. I opened up Instagram to see if anybody had made any new posts recently, and I saw one from a person whom I didn't really know, but I had followed through a mutual friend. I looked at the image that was posted, and it was a picture of the owner of the account standing with our mutual friend. I looked down to read the caption of the photo, and I saw that it was some long paragraph that I didn't really take the time to read. However, below this paragraph was a line that simply read, "Rest easy, Sebi." Sebi is the nickname of our mutual friend, whose full name is Noah Sebastian Cullum. He went by Sebastian or sometimes Sebi because he never really liked his first name. When I read the words, "Rest easy, Sebi," I thought nothing of it and dismissed it as some sort of joke. I closed Instagram and decided to open up Snapchat instead to see what other things people were posting on there. I opened up one of my friend's posts to see the words, "Rest easy, Sebi," written over a black screen. At this point, I knew it wasn't a joke. My body froze up, and I stood there staring at my phone screen in shock at what I had just read. Rest in peace, Sebi. Those words echoed through my head as I stared blankly at the screen. My eyes began to tear up as I realized the actuality of what had happened. My best friend of the past 6 years had passed away while I was on vacation. I responded to the post asking what had happened to him just to confirm that this was real, and I was met with the reply of an ATV accident. At the time, Sebi was visiting his cousins in Oklahoma, and he always told me about how his favorite thing to do when he was with them was to ride their ATVs. After all those years of riding ATVs and never having more than a scratch from his adventures, his life was abruptly ended by one tragic ride. Sebi's ATV flipped on him as he was pulling out of his cousin's driveway, and he passed before he could even be taken to a hospital. All I could think was, why did it have to be him? He was only 16 and had his whole life ahead of him. All of the memories that we had made together in the past 6 years flashed through my mind. Sleeping over at each other's houses for weeks at a time, going to trampoline parks, building contraptions that we found in YouTube videos, along with everything else that we had done together. We were quite literally inseparable. Even in doing the most boring things, such as going to Sebi's chiropractor appointments, we would go together. Since we had talked and played online video games the day before we both left for vacation, I assumed that he would still be there when I got back. I never even got the chance to say goodbye. As the plane took off from the airport and headed back home, I still had all of these memories going through my mind. I began to think about the other people who were important in my life and what I would think if I lost them too. I sat in silence the entire plane ride, just wondering about all of the things that I had taken for granted throughout my life and all of the people that I had not shown enough appreciation for. As soon as we landed, I texted a few of my close friends to tell them about what had happened and how I was feeling about it. All of them made me feel comforted and put my mind at ease during this tough situation. After the conversations with them, I remembered what I had thought about on the plane ride and told them how much I appreciated their friendship and compassion. I told all of them that I loved them, which, if you know me, is not an easy thing for me to say. I just felt like I had to let them know as often as possible in case anything were to happen to them. When I got home, I went straight to my room as my dad was telling my mom about what had happened. I laid down on my bed and stared up at the ceiling, contemplating the entirety of my life when my mom walked in. She sat next to me on my bed and just told me that everything was going to be okay and gave me a hug as I burst into tears. After this was over, I fell asleep to try and escape the truth. This day has replayed over and over in my head ever since it happened, and it still haunts my mind from time to time. Having people there to comfort me did not completely take away the pain of losing my best friend, but it certainly made it more manageable. Although this situation has negatively impacted the rest of my life, it gave me 3 very important realizations. The first realization is that I need to show appreciation for the people in my life every single day and never take anything that they do for me for granted. The people around me are immensely important in my life and provide me with enough encouragement and compassion to keep going from day to day, and I feel that it's only fair to show appreciation for them. You never know when one or more of these people could be taken away from you to never be seen again. The second lesson that I gained from this situation is that you should look at the positive side of things rather than always seeing the negative. Previously, I had always been a very negative person, but through this situation, I realized that there is a positive side to everything. The positive side of this situation for me is that Sebi has taught me multiple life lessons that I will never forget, as well as introduced me to some of my favorite hobbies. Another life lesson that I learned from being around Sebi daily was that I need to have fun in my life, or at least make things fun for myself. Over the years that I spent hanging out with him, I learned that having fun is not about what you are doing so much as who you are doing it with. Live life to the fullest, but make sure you do it with the people that you love so that each and every memory is more meaningful. Go out with friends, blast music while driving, or try new things. You never know when you'll try something new that you end up enjoying. I found fun in my life by being around Sebi because he always had a plan that would make me smile. Something such as walking to CVS and buying 2 gallons of milks each for the sole purpose of seeing if we could carry them back. Or something like being a couple miles from our neighborhood after a biking trip and then getting lost after a bike broke and having to walk back with navigation from Google Maps. These are the type of random activities that seem boring, but can be made incredibly entertaining if you're with the right people. I want to end with a short message for everyone listening today. To all of my fellow students, go out and have fun with the people you love. You're only young once, and you never know when everything will change or when people will come and go. Treat every day like it's your last, because someday it will be. Do something you've always wanted to do, because you might never get the chance again. To the entire team in my community, I appreciate and love each and every one of you, and you are extremely important to me. Thank you for all of the memories that I have made in this place with all of you. I could not have asked for a better high school experience or better people to live that experience with. To my family and friends, thank you for always being there for me when I need it most. It means more than you will ever know. Also, thank you for dealing with me throughout middle school and high school, as I know I can be a pain sometimes. And last but not least, Sebi, thank you for all of the memories that we created together and for all of the lessons that you have taught me. I can't even express the good that you've added to my life and the positive impact that you've had on me and my future. You will never be forgotten and have left a lasting legacy on every place you have been and on every person that you have met. I miss you, and I hope we get to see each other again one day. Thank you.